Welcome everybody to episode 23 of the Cover 2 presented by Tigervision. I'm with Grayson Mann, as always. I'm Patrick Neal. What do we got this week? We've got Tom Brady coming back, unfortunately.
You don't seem very happy about it.
We have NFL free agency. Maybe we talk a little March Madness. As I believe it's the first four starts tonight, right?
It does. Yeah, I think it's like Texas Southern versus Texas.
The big Texas matchup.
Yes.
So maybe we'll talk a little bit about that at the end. But I guess we should probably start with the biggest news in the NFL this week. Tom Brady is back. He just wanted the attention. I guess he was looking at the NFC South and was like, you know what, it's going to be so easy. I might as well come back for another year. What are your thoughts on it, Grayson?
I think Brady got tired of taking out the trash. It's like there was a
maybe.
tweet on Twitter, and it's a picture of Michael Scott from The Office, like cringing, and it just says Giselle, and then in all caps, "I don't care if you're the 7-time world champion, you're gonna do the dishes." He's like, this is the
She's
inside
the
scoop.
In the house, so.
Yeah, she's the breadwinner. So I mean, Brady was like, you know what? Bump this. I'm going back to football.
He retired in part to spend more time with his family, and then realized he hates spending time with his family. So because of that, he's gonna go back and, I guess win another ring. There's like that stat that the past like 10 years he's won a Super Bowl, lost a playoff game, won a Super Bowl, lost a playoff game. So it looks like the Buccaneers are gonna win a playoff or win a Super Bowl again. Did I say? Yeah, lose a playoff game, win a Super Bowl is what I meant to say. If I messed that up, I can't remember.
Honestly, I was just so focused on the fact that I was shocked by this. I'm gonna take you on a journey here. I was so tired on Sunday, so I said, all right, 30 minutes. I'm just gonna go take a quick little power nap because I'd been up all day. Celtics had just lost. I was so sad, and so I went 30 minutes. And in that 30 minutes, I get a string of texts, and then it's, you see the Brady news? Brady news. Then I'm like, oh God, just scramble mode. Of course, whenever I'm asleep, the world decides to just set itself on fire, especially with the NFL. I think for this one with Tom Brady, I think Gronkowski's probably going to get lured back into it for at least another year. There were rumors with him going to Cincinnati because he was a big fan of Joe Burrow. We'll talk about Cincinnati in a bit. And I think this also takes Tampa, obviously, out of the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, if those were even there to begin with. How long does Brady have left now? It's that whole conversation. We're bringing all the old talking points back.
Dude, beats me. Like, I don't know. He could honestly play for probably 2-3 more years. He has not really regressed at all, which is absurd to say. But I mean, how much more can you say about him at this point? When he eventually retires again, does he get like the same send-off, you think?
I think it depends on how long he plays. If he's here for another 3 years, he'll probably make a bunch more memories, probably win a Super Bowl. But if he's it's like a year, it's kind of like, okay, he's doing it again. So
is this his fourth Hall of Fame worthy career that starts now? Like nothing even happened in football. Really?
No.
Like, calendar-wise, nothing's happened, and he's already back. I guess he really just hated being home all the time.
I think baseball was in a longer lockout than Brady's retirement.
I think you're exactly right with that. So, yeah, Tampa's a contender again. They just got Shaq Mason.
Yeah.
An hour ago.
Pretty solid.
His former O-lineman. So they lost Alex Kappa, but
replaced him
with Brady's guy. So, I guess. Good for Tampa Bay fans, not good for the rest of the NFL.
No. It's never good if Brady's there. The NFC's gotten significantly weaker since he's retired, and the two teams are probably going to remain the same. It's the Packers with Aaron Rodgers and the Rams if they can find that magic again. But anybody else, like, I don't see Tampa, if Tampa's rolling and Brady's rolling, because ironically, the 2 months that he took off, everybody else is taking off anyways because there's no training camp. The off-season's just really started, so everyone's kind of going on their own vacations. So he's pretty much not – it's not like he came back in week 2 of the preseason and he has to kind of get 4 weeks to catch a step. He's probably been active, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just sat with him. He's like, you know what, I'm tired of this. And just,
his break was legitimately just the off season.
Yeah.
Like his retirement was just the off season. So, you're right. He's probably not very much out of shape. He's probably still in shape. Maybe put on the Harden pounds, the Zion pounds.
He comes back and he's got the what looks like what did everyone call it with James Harden whenever he was trying to get
fat suit?
Yes. Maybe
he might have the fat suit.
Maybe he's
trying to
chunky.
get out of Tampa Bay.
Maybe he's Chunky Tom. I don't know.
Chunky Tom, potentially. He'd probably still win a ring.
Probably.
But we will kind of shift over a little bit to the NFL free agency that has happened. We probably got to start with the Jaguars.
Yeah, making money moves. Some good.
Are they money? Yeah.
Some bad.
I was gonna say, are they really cash money moves?
They made like the first move.
They're money moves. They're big money moves, but good ones.
I think we talked about this before the show started. They add the idea. They were thinking in the right spot. It's like kind of how somebody goes about it the right way, or they have the right intentions, but they go about it the wrong way. This is exactly what Jacksonville was doing. They started off so promising. They signed Brandon Sheriff. That's a good deal. That is exactly what you want to do. Protect Trevor Lawrence, and then let's upgrade the receiver room. And they didn't do that.
I mean,
Christian Kirk did that. They're good,
just not at the right price.
Christian Kirk for 4 years, $72 million, $37 million guaranteed, and he can earn up to $84 million. Okay, what do I need to do to be the third receiver on the Cardinals? I think let's go do that.
Exactly.
Let's go earn some money.
Like Kirk has never had a 1,000-yard receiving season.
No.
And he just got this absolutely absurd money. He's now the 9th highest paid receiver in the league.
Maybe Trevor can make it work.
They had the right idea to go out and get, weapons and build a roster for Trevor Lawrence. Maybe this is who we really wanted. Maybe he sees something that nobody else sees.
Yeah.
But
Evan Ingram too.
Christian Kirk at that price, there are just so many good young wide receivers in the league. This wide receiver class is very, very deep, and next year will probably be even deeper. I just don't understand why you go and spend all this money on Christian Kirk when it is likely that you can get somebody at Christian Kirk's level or better, first, second, third round of the draft.
The only reason I can think of why they're making these specific moves is that Zay Jones, their idea of deep threat, Christian Kirk's their slot, and I'm just trying to think of Peterson. He's a really good offensive guy. Maybe he's trying to fit that, and this is really scheme fit, and so they're willing to overpay, and maybe we'll be proven wrong if Trevor Lawrence in this offense really takes it up a notch in a weaker AFC South. I mean, Jacksonville right now I would say is still better than Houston. Indianapolis, they seem to always beat anyways. And then Tennessee is always I think that's their only challenge, really.
I mean, I don't know. I think they're probably still the third best team in the AFC South. And I was looking, we talked about this beforehand, but I was looking at, you get a list of all the receiving cores on all 32 teams. And I think other than I think I decided that the Jaguars still have a bottom 5 group, I think.
Yeah, we went through all of them. I think the Raiders were one of the teams
But even you got Hunter Renfrow, who was a Pro Bowler this year.
And solid.
The Falcons just lost Russell Gage, so the Jaguars probably have a better group than that. Maybe the Bears, depending on Allen Robinson, but you got Darnell Mooney. But, you probably take the Jaguars over that. And then probably the Raiders. And that's honestly about it. The Jets, they have a solid team with Elijah Moore and Corey Davis and Braxton Berrios.
Yeah.
Also, what's the word? All-Pro at kick
All-Pro,
returner.
yeah.
Who's coming back. Houston, you have Brandon Cooks, who's severely underrated. I just don't think the amount of money they put into this receiving core to not really get that much better is concerning.
I think we'd look at it in a better light if they were getting paid at the right value. Let's take the Chargers, for example, who have been making moves even before free agency, getting Khalil Mack. They have J.C. Jackson coming. They re-signed Mike Williams. Mike Williams is getting paid less than Christian Kirk, I believe.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy.
But yeah, if we want to talk about the Chargers have made great moves.
Those are the money moves.
Chargers have got to be serious contention to win the AFC next year.
Oh, yeah, especially if Khalil Mack pans out, which we assume he will. Imagine Joey Bosa on one side, Khalil Mack, then you have J.C. Jackson and Asante Samuel. Asante Samuel's a growing corner. Derwin James, if he can stay healthy, that's a secondary. Usually one benefits off the other, but when both are so solid, it's exactly what the Rams did this year and how they were super successful. They could get pressure on the quarterback and they could lock up your number one receiver, which J.C. Jackson can do.
And maybe you boost that defense even more in the draft. Maybe you get somebody like Jordan Davis. Maybe you get Nakobe Dean to boost that linebacker core. And then suddenly that defense is very, very frightening. Meanwhile, last season it was kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have rebuilt quickly. They went out. They had one of the highest numbers of available cap space, and they went out and spent it.
Yeah, that's what New England did last year, and they saw a significant improvement. We'll see if the Chargers can do the same thing. They ironically took one of the Patriots players, which still makes me upset. But another team that really impressed me, they haven't done much other than this, but the Bengals getting a solid starter in Ted Karras, and they got Alex Kappa. Their goal is protect Joe Burrow, and they've done that so far.
They went out to make sure they did that. They did lose. I'm really sad about C.J. Uzomah. He's going to the Jets, which is he was honestly like Joe Burrow's the face of the Bengals, but C.J. Uzomah is the heart of the Bengals.
He's getting his pay. He's getting his payday though.
He is getting a solid 3-year, $24 million deal. So the Jets have not had really a great tight end in years. No. You know, the only name that comes to mind is Chris Herndon. Like that's the only Jets tight end I can really think of.
I think majority of people.
And he still was not very good.
Majority of people would respond to that with a who.
Yeah, exactly. So they get a solid tight end. He's gonna bring a positive attitude, bring a solid. I think be a leader in the locker room. So that's solid for them. They do also lose Larry Ogunjobi, the D tackle, who I think was really, really decent coming there for a year from the Browns.
And he's going to the Bears, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But they do re-sign B.J. Hill.
That's good. And they have DJ Reader, so their defensive, that D-line rotation isn't as deep, but they still have solid players. And like I've decided to not stop talking about for like the last 2 weeks on this show, Mitchell Trubisky gets his chance. The MVP is going to be the Steelers starting quarterback for now. Yeah,
that's interesting. I mean, it's not too much of a I guess you might as well give him a second chance. Maybe do you think the Steelers go out and draft like Malik Willis? Do they go and draft a quarterback? Do they what do you think their plan is?
I think the Steelers this is a ideal bridge quarterback. This is not unless Trubisky is just unleashed and the MVP inside of him is just he goes crazy in Pittsburgh and the gold and black. But I think he's a bridge quarterback. I don't see a scenario where Pittsburgh doesn't at least take a look at the quarterbacks. It's probably a situation where they go, if we're not in love with the guy, we got somebody that can hold us over for a year until the class significantly improves. So they could potentially, if Mitch Trubisky also isn't that good and their gamble doesn't pay off, they could try to get somebody like Bryce Young in a couple of years.
And this team, it's honestly it might be interesting to see because they'll have an actual quarterback now that isn't virtually hospitalized, that has some sort of arm strength. Maybe this team is likely a playoff team.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think being led by T.J. Watt in that defense.
Trubisky doesn't have to do much.
It's kind of like the Bears situation.
Just asking him to be average, and they can. And I think Trubisky is a step up from the destroyed body of Roethlisberger.
Yeah,
I would say that's fair.
Yeah.
Than what they've had in like the last couple of years, because Roethlisberger's fine, but as the season, he's really good to start out, and once the season picks up and the hits keep piling on, the age starts to show. So, and their defense kept the Steelers team in that game against the Chiefs in that first quarter. So if Trubisky could make a couple throws here and there where Roethlisberger couldn't, that playoff game could be a lot closer. Maybe the Bengals would be playing the Steelers in the AFC Championship. That would have been something.
Exactly. So I don't think it's a bad move at all for the Steelers. I think it's quite solid. They got to rebuild that line.
Oh Lord, yes.
And get Mitch and Najee Harris a little bit more protection. But maybe they. I wonder if they re-sign Juju. I mean, he's probably
Corvette, as they do on TikTok. But good for Mitch Trubisky taking that year off to kind of. I think that's tough for anybody, especially when you're starting quarterback in the NFL for that long. It's probably a shot to your ego to be able to take that seat back for a year, but being that positive influence in that Bills locker room probably led to this. And just solid play with Chicago, and then everyone realizing how bad Matt Nagy was. So all good things for Trubisky. He's getting paid a nice little contract, so good for him.
Reminder, Matt Nagy won Coach of the Year.
Oh, dear God. Oh, my God.
Yeah. What are any other free agency signings, deals you want to hit on?
I do want to commemorate Mason Crosby for getting that nice extension. I know it's not technically a free agent signing, but it was on the 2-year anniversary of his sobriety. So that's just good.
Max Crosby?
Yeah. Not Mason Crosby, Max Crosby.
Mason Crosby might deserve to be released after this past season. But yeah, Max Crosby, good for him.
Yeah.
He got the bag a little bit. It's around $100 million for 4 years. We also have to talk about Aaron Rodgers sign a day.
Yeah.
The contract details.
Are they printing money? Like, where are they getting this cap space?
Cap space doesn't matter anymore.
It's just a construct of the NFL.
It is a social construct.
They just took it off and Madden.
It's philosophical.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So Aaron Rodgers, $150 for 3 years.
Jeez.
A lot of money. Kirk Cousins also getting an extension. We should probably talk about this.
That was something. And did you see his tweet?
I did not.
Oh, hold on. We're going. So a couple weeks ago we did the Calvin Ridley haiku. I'm gonna do the Kirk Cousins hashtag. Hold on, I gotta find it. It was so funny. Hold on. Oh no.
Did he delete it?
I hope not, because the hashtag was so funny. But while we're waiting on that.
Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, here we go. I found it. So this was 2 days ago. This also includes an emoji. Now that that's out of the way, ... Let's go to work on a Lombardi. Hashtag let's freaking go with a smiley face emoji. I wish I could show you on the camera, but it's so funny. It's very Kirk Cousins because he does not use any ounce of a swear word.
It's very Phillip Rivers-esque.
Yes, let's freaking go. Gosh darn it. Let's get this stuff on the road.
But yeah, this was an interesting one for the Vikings. I mean, I guess if you're a Vikings fan, how excited are you that Kirk Cousins is back? I think you're just another year in mediocrity. Your defense is aging. They're saying Daniel Hunter is on the trade block. So you're getting rid of pieces that are going to help you win now. I just figured as you're getting in a new coaching staff, and a new general manager, why not just kind of rebuild it, build on pieces like Justin Jefferson,
like Dalvin Cook's still relatively young.
Yeah, why not just kind of restart with your guys? And while it may be a few disappointing years, you're not going to be stuck at the 7-10, 10-7 range.
It's the purgatory. The Vikings did just sign Jordan Hicks, though. This was 6 minutes ago, so while we were filming.
Interesting.
That's a solid 2-year, $10 million deal with upside up to $12 million and $6 million guaranteed.
Yeah, so I guess that means they're going to really try and go for the playoffs this year.
Like Kirk Cousins said, let's freaking go.
Yeah, they're fringe playoffs, so...
Why not?
Yeah, I just think if you're a Vikings fan and you finish the season 8-9, like you seemingly do every year, you're like, okay, what was the point of this? We just wasted kind of another year of Justin Jefferson on his rookie deal. So
another team that I'm worried about, but I think they're making the moves in the right direction, is Cleveland. They got Amari Cooper. They cut Jarvis Landry, who I think is criminally underrated. But Amari Cooper is, for a 5th and a 6th, seems like a bargain for me. Cowboys fans are probably dropping to like the random Walmart that they're at right now and just crying about it, but
the Cowboys probably need another receiver.
They do,
but they lost Cedric Wilson as well.
This is the perfect draft to get one.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, how old is Amari now? Probably around like
29.
29.
I think he's
late 20s. He's definitely late.
He's
20s.
in his prime, as they say. He's 27. Oh wow.
So
did not know that.
I think when you're Cleveland, you don't necessarily need these big hit receivers because that's not what your offense is built around.
Yeah.
But they didn't get him they got him for relatively cheap.
Because you run the ball 25 times probably with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, and you can take those deep shots with Amari Cooper. As long as Amari Cooper's dad doesn't pull an Odell Beckham's dad and start pulling out the film,
you might be fine.
Yeah, but other than that, I think we covered all the major points.
For the most part, yeah. Maybe just look out for the Atlanta Falcons to get Deshaun Watson.
That was interesting.
They have an awful roster, so I don't know what you're doing there. Although I guess you get, 3-4 years of Deshaun Watson under contract. He goes back to Georgia, where he's from.
Yeah.
And, maybe you get something out of that.
Yeah, and he's free now, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll see how that settles.
He's probably still going to get suspended, I believe.
Probably. But that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm. I guess before March Madness, any quick thoughts, any locks for us? Who's your champion?
For March Madness or?
March Madness.
Okay, so this is what I do every year is I make an unbelievable amount of brackets. I always have my guys. I have my fun one where I kind of pick a couple upsets here and there. But I really like UCLA to win it because they went on this unbelievable run last year and they didn't even have their best player. They're going to run it back, and they don't have to go through that.
They did have Johnny Juzang.
No, I don't think they had him.
Johnny Juzang was there last year.
He
was like the whole reason they got to the
No,
final.
they were missing a player, and they were still able to it was one of their complementary pieces, and they still were able to make a run. I know Juzang was but that's the pick that I have in the tournament that it's for money. Okay. So that's why
you have UCLA winning it all.
Yes.
Interesting.
I like him. I don't like Gonzaga or Duke. I really don't.
Yeah.
It feels too easy to pick them. Which if you're watching this and you haven't filled out your bracket, Duke or Gonzaga, they're not making the Final Four. I'm going to say that now.
Okay. So who do you have coming out of that region then?
I have to look. I don't have it memorized.
UConn, Arkansas, and Texas Tech are the next 3 highest seeds.
You know what? I will pull out my bracket.
Where you got?
I'm going to pull it out.
No, not Texas. I can't remember who the 6th seed is in that region.
So my Final Four for my money bracket is, I might have Gonzaga in there. I'm actually a liar. I have Gonzaga, UCLA, Tennessee, and Auburn as my Final Four. So I was kind of sort of lying to you guys, but.
Interesting. I believe Kentucky's going to win it all.
Okay.
I really like Oscar Tshiebwe, and they're not built like a lot of normal Kentucky teams where they're a bunch of young guys. It's a lot of transfers.
It's a veteran team?
Veteran group.
That Calipari
I like them probably playing. I'm not the biggest on Kansas, but I think their track to the Final Four is extremely easy. I think they have the weakest group. So.
Which out of the top seeds is most susceptible to an upset in the first round?
First round.
I'll look at them right now.
I think there's a chance Illinois gets upset by Chattanooga. Chattanooga who hit the buzzer beater.
I think Houston also could lose to
Houston
UAB.
could lose. Providence, a lot of people are saying Providence might lose.
Loyola Chicago, Sister Jean, always believe.
Yeah, potentially. I'm not the biggest fan of Sister Jean.
What?
It's kind of like Brady, just grabbing all the attention.
She's such an old sweet lady, though.
Nah, you gotta root against Sister Jean.
Zach agrees with me. He's like, what's wrong with Sister Jean?
Plus E.J. Liddell, 3rd team All-American today. So.
Oh, you're an Ohio State guy. That's why.
Yeah. Originally I was.
As long as Ohio State isn't playing Oral Roberts, I think you're good.
Probably.
That was my bracket buster last year.
That was awful.
I had Ohio State going to the Elite Eight in that money bracket.
I had them winning,
and they screwed me so bad.
Day one, I was already just so sad.
It was like I was torn. I was like, do I want to win a lot of money or do I want to have like the March Madness thing live up to its name?
Well, you can't pick the favorite to win it all because you're not going to win it.
You got to pick like a 4. Or, like that's what I'm doing here. I'm picking UCLA. They're a 4 seed. It's reasonable enough to assume they could go on a run, but it's not like the easy Gonzaga pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So don't pick Gonzaga because
Gonzaga always.
It's not the value pick.
You remember when UCLA got robbed last year and then they got just destroyed by Baylor in the national championship?
Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate.
Very.
But that'll probably do it.
Yes.
For this episode of The Cover 2. We thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Zach producing. As always, we thank Tigervision, of course. And anything else before we get out of here?
Just remember that sweet CBS theme and the Hello Friends from Jim Nance, and you'll be good for the next 2 weeks.
I love it. All right. Thank you again, as always. And we'll see you all next week. Have a good one.